All right, today we're going to unpack a really powerful argument. It's about something that sits right at the intersection of economic power, global opportunity, and, strategic advantage. We're talking about a pivotal relationship, the one between African Americans and Africa's absolutely booming economies. And really, it all kicks off with this fundamental question. You see, as Africa's entire economic landscape transforms, a huge choice is emerging for African Americans. Are they going to engage as builders and owners, or are they going to allow others to define what the future of these markets looks like? This is a big deal, with massive implications for global strategy. So here's how we're going to break it all down. We'll start with that big choice, then dive into the unique advantage that African Americans bring to the table. After that, we'll look at two key strategies in action, unpack what's called the triple win, and then wrap it all up with a really powerful call to action. Okay, first up, the consequential choice. And the most important thing to get right away is that this isn't about symbolism or just connecting with heritage. No, this is about cold, hard strategy. I mean, the reality is a massive economic shift is already happening all across the African continent. We're talking about a boom that's being driven by all the key ingredients of the 21st century economy. So the question isn't if this transformation will happen, it's who's going to lead it and who's going to benefit from it. So, if that's the opportunity, well, who is in the best position to actually seize it? This brings us to the core argument here. The idea that African Americans hold a truly unique advantage in this new landscape. And this advantage, it's really built on three key pillars. First, you've got cultural fluency, that shared heritage that can build incredible bridges of trust. Second is commercial sophistication, skills that have been sharpened in the world's most competitive markets. And third, there's institutional credibility, which is just a deep understanding of how to navigate these complex systems of government, finance, and law. The author of the source material we're looking at, Preston Powell III, just nails the stakes with this quote. The key takeaway is this: that unique mix of skills isn't just good for one community, it's actually being framed as a major strategic asset for the entire United States. So how does all of this actually play out in the real world? Well, the source gives us two fantastic case studies. Think of it like a 1-2 punch, a strategy for today's economy, focused on Nigeria, and then a strategy for the future economy, centered on the Congo. Let's start with strategy number 1 in the energy economy. And for this, we're looking at Nigeria, Africa's largest economy and an absolute powerhouse in the global energy market. Now, getting involved in Nigeria's energy sector is about way more than just profits. It's a path to building real equity and leadership on the world stage. And notice how these benefits just sort of cascade into one another. It strengthens U.S. partnerships, which creates high-value jobs, which then fosters the kind of economic stability that's absolutely crucial for security in the region. Okay, now let's pivot to the future. If Nigeria is all about today's energy needs, the Democratic Republic of the Congo is about the literal building blocks for tomorrow's industry. I mean, just look at the sheer scope of what we're talking about here. These aren't just any old commodities. They're the lifeblood of the green transition and all of high-tech manufacturing. Seriously, think about it. The batteries in electric vehicles, the components in advanced defense systems, the supply chain for our entire future runs right through the Congo. And here is the strategic play. Right now, these critical supply chains are pretty vulnerable and are often controlled by geopolitical competitors. The opportunity here is for African American-led firms to come in and introduce new, ethical, and transparent models of investment. This could secure those supply chains for the U.S. while also fostering real, sustainable development on the ground. So, when you put all of this together, what you get is what the source describes as a triple win. It's this amazing set of interlocking benefits that just reinforce each other. The first win is pretty straightforward. It opens up pathways for Black entrepreneurs and investors to build serious wealth and ownership on a global scale. It's a huge step, moving from domestic markets to the international stage. Win number 2 is for the United States as a whole. By building more resilient and diverse supply chains and, frankly, deploying a wider array of American talent, the nation just becomes more competitive and more secure in a really complex world. And the third win, well, this one is all about changing the nature of engagement itself. It's about moving away from those old, purely extractive models and toward partnerships that are actually built on mutual respect, shared prosperity, and trust. It's about building with Africa, not just taking from it. Which brings us to our final section, the call to action. Okay, so how do we get from this great idea to actually making it happen? It all comes down to shifting the entire mindset from heritage to strategy. And that call to action is really a two-part mandate. On one side, you have U.S. institutions. We're talking both government and corporate that need to create real, tangible pathways for this to happen. And on the other side, African American institutions need to mobilize to approach the continent with a strategic economic focus ready to operate on a massive scale. And so we end up right back where we started, with a choice. Look, the transformation of Africa's economies isn't some possibility in the distant future. It is happening right now. The only real question left is who will be at the forefront, shaping that future.